This is our newest acquisition. We acquired it in May. It is a 1948 NW2 EMD locomotive. We have since moved it from Binghamton to Arkville. We acquired it in May. It has been restored to service, and so it is an operable locomotive. We are using it pretty much as a spare backup and as a yard goat to move cars around. This is a coupler, yeah. It's cut. It opens up like that, and as the other car comes in with the knuckle either open or closed, as long as one of the coupler's knuckles is open, you can make the hitch, and as soon as they shut together, the pin drops and they're locked. They cannot be painted. When a locomotive is painted, brand new or subsequently painted, the coupler itself, none of the coupler can be painted. The reason being is paint will cover up cracks. And the Federal Railroad Administration and the railroad operator itself wants to be able to monitor their couplers, and by not having them painted, it's much easier. Everything is made out of steel and iron on a locomotive. This locomotive, as it sits right here, weighs 120 tons. This particular locomotive has a 12-cylinder, 1,000 horsepower engine. It turns a big generator, which is in this case, a DC generator, 600 volt, 12 to 1400 amp DC output, which powers the 4 traction motors on each axle. Each axle has its own electric motor, which in this case is a DC that is geared directly to the locomotive main generator, and it's done with electricity. The reason that locomotives use the electric propulsion system is because it's smooth. This is the control stand. This is your throttle. It's in 8 notches. Each locomotive has 8 notches of throttle positions, from idle all the way up to 8th notch, which is basically wide open. You've got the independent brake, which this controls the locomotive and locomotive only. This is a number 6 automatic train brake, which is the brake that controls the train and the locomotive. In other words, when you have a train behind you, this is the brake you would use to apply the brakes to the train. At the same time that it applies the brakes to the train, it also makes an application on the locomotive. And railroad engineer runs the train, which means he is operating everything in the locomotive to make that train as smooth and as safe as he can.